She's got the glasses on, which means she means business. She's got the umbrella behind her because she worked so hard on that backyard that was so jacked up when she bought the house. And I say that as a compliment. She was literally out there. I saw it with my own eyes, picking weeds by hand because that's what people do. The only Kayte Christensen. Good morning.
Good morning.
So is it lack of work ethic or just you don't care the reason why you're not calling the game on Saturday?
It's definitely a lack of work ethic.
Yeah.
For sure. I'm so lazy. I said, hey, I need
Kayte was very mad at this. Kayte was very mad.
I would be too. The first time the Kings are in national TV, it's the one area where Kayte, you guys weren't getting a chance, at least for game one, you won't get the chance to call the game.
Yeah. Game one is going to be on ABC. Mark Jones is going to be calling it, I believe, with Doris.
Yep.
And so, I was like, Dave, should I be mad? Like 16 years and game one goes to national TV. I mean, listen, it was to be expected to a certain degree. I kind of thought that might be the case. And then when it happened, I was like, oh man, like, what do I do? Like, so I'm going to go as a fan.
So just, and I'm sorry to put you on the spot because I know there's a lot of stuff up in the air. I mean, hell, we don't even know when game two is now, but could you do your best to explain? Because truly a lot of fans are asking this. We want Mark, we want Kayte, we want Kyle, we want our coverage. So what will your duties be during the playoffs, if at all?
The series one, right? Like the first series we cover on our national or on our local broadcast. By the second round, it goes to all national. And when the Kings advance to the second round, then we will do the pre and post game show for every game. And I would move over and I would be in the studio with Kyle and Matt Barnes.
And just to follow up, so the first round, there's local coverage, but there's not local coverage because it's on ABC. So does that mean
so ABC is the only station that has exclusivity rights.
Okay. So ESPN, TNT, if that was the case, we'd have the local option.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Good. Okay.
Just through the first round, and hopefully that'll be a long round or a prosperous round for the Kings. This is the uncertainty, Kayte, and I think a lot of people, when they're breaking down this series, immediately go to the Warriors' experience versus the Kings' inexperience, and I can understand that to a degree. How much, in your opinion, will that be a factor for either team?
I think it will be a factor. Obviously, I think game one is going to be interesting just in the sense of excitement and nerves, right? But I think that, that might be the only advantage in that sense. I mean, then it's just a series and then you just go to work, right? But I think the great thing about this is the experience of the staff is going to be really critical. They've been there. They have great messaging to the team, the way that they prepare them. And I remember getting off the plane after the Denver game, and I was walking with Leandro to go get our baggage. And I was like, so what do you think of the matchup with the Warriors? And he goes, we have secrets.
And what were they?
Yeah, he didn't share. But that is one of the really positive things about this matchup is that, there's no other coaching staff or any team in the league that knows the Warriors better than Mike Brown and his staff. So I think that's a positive. Also, I think arrogance kind of can be a downfall, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And there is a significant amount of arrogance going around with one particular Warrior. I think we all know who that is.
Dante DiVincenzo.
But, when it comes down to it, like, I think the really big question for this series is, can anyone slow down the Kings? Will the Kings offense transfer over to the playoffs? Will defense become an issue where they're not getting the same kind of looks? And I go back to the conversation that I had with Chauncey Billups when we played Portland. And he basically said, it used to be that defense was, that's what's going to carry you through the playoffs. He goes, but offense was not the way that it was when I played. When I played, you could have a great defense and a mediocre offense and you were going to win the series. He goes, that's just not the case anymore. So I think it's going to be exciting to see kind of that kind of train of thought be put to the test. The Kings have a historic offense. So in my mind, you need a historic defense to be able to stop it. And to be honest, the Warriors do not have even a fraction of the type of defense that they had when they were, going on their streak and winning titles. Even last year, their defense does not match up to what they were last year.
Draymond Green, say what you want about him, but he is a master of mental warfare. He also has mental lapses himself. If you're Mike Brown and you have that intimate knowledge of Draymond, having coached him for years, what are you telling the team and what might your strategies be to deal with him? I say put Alex Len in and just have him kick him in the junk 4 times, but that's probably not going to happen. So
let's
what do you
keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. Well, it's not even just Mike Brown, right? Harrison Barnes played with him, won a title with the Warriors. A lot of the same people are there. Obviously, there's been some change and turnover. But I think the key really is about the mental toughness. Draymond's whole approach to the game, and especially against an inexperienced team like the Kings, I would imagine would be to elevate his trash talking, his kind of methodology to the 10th degree. So it's going to be about not letting that get in your head, keeping your cool, sticking to the game plan, and trying to put them in situations that you can expose them. They're going to do the same to the Kings. I actually think that there was a reason why we didn't see any of our starters play in that last game against the Warriors here at home at Golden One Center. But then when you go to Denver, they played. There was a reason for that. The last time the Kings played the Warriors when everyone was full tilt was back in November, I believe. We played them 3 times very early in the season. And let's face it, the Kings are a very different team than they were in November. They've added so much to their offense. There's so much to them now that the Warriors did not face. So there is something to say about, you can game plan for someone by watching footage, but there's a whole different, ability to scheme for them when you get to play them. So I like that the starters didn't play in that game. So both teams are going to have a major challenge, and I think it's going to be a really exciting series.
Kayte, I want to go back to that Friday night game because that was an interesting decision, I thought, by the Kings when Mike Brown said, it's on me. I'm not playing Fox. I'm not playing Sabonis. I'm not playing Kevin Huerter. Then we heard later that they weren't going to play Monk. I agree with you. Part of that, I feel, is like, okay, you're going to get some more intel on the Warriors firsthand. You're not going to give them more intel. But part of it, was there any part of that going, wait, do the Kings want to play the Warriors? Did you take that from that decision at all?
I didn't take it. And when you look at even with 2 games left in the season, how many different possibilities there were. We were halfway through the game in Denver and it was looking like the Kings were going to play New Orleans. And then how things panned out. I mean, you just don't have any control over that. I really do think it was because the possibility of playing the Warriors and them having to really fight for that game. You want to keep guys healthy, but you also, it's like, okay, the probability is probably going to be the Warriors. So let's reserve some of our, of our players in the sense of not allowing them to have that ability to game plan and to have the familiarity with them.
Kayte Christensen with us. Real talk, Kayte. So many experts have the Warriors winning. I get it. 8-2 going into the postseason. They're pretty healthy. They're getting Wiggins back. They're the defending champions, on and on and on. But nobody's talking about the Kings coming out and blowing the doors off of this team.
No, they're not going to, because that doesn't fit the narrative. And you've got the team that won the championship last year. You've got a dynasty in the Bay Area. You've got a few future Hall of Famers, like all of those things. That doesn't fit the national narrative. And I actually think that that's good for the Kings because, this team has proven this season that they can surpass expectations. And I think that going in with the underdog, technically, even though you're the 3 seed, that is a great position to be in. It's going to be what it is. Even if the Kings win the series and go into the next round, like, I don't think it's going to be until next year. And depending on how the success of this postseason goes, that they're going to, have kind of the flowers from the national media.
You got a plane? You got a plane coming to get you?
Yeah.
Is that the Warriors flying into town?
All All right, Katie, we got a break. What's on tap for you today? What's the rest of a day in the life of Katie Lauren Christensen on a Wednesday, 3 days before game time?
Yeah, there's some things, but most importantly, I actually do have a massage tonight, so I'm very excited about that.
And I'm super excited about our chat room now. Thanks, Katie. Appreciate that, and we'll talk to you later. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, that's Kayte Christensen.